We only want 10 out of 10s. Middle Eastern niche. Let's talk about it.
Here's some codes to save you some cash on your next Middle Eastern niche or designer fragrances.
What's going on, guys? My name is Neeb. Welcome back to AROMATIX. We only want 10 out of 10 fragrances. Let's be real here, okay? You're not always gonna get 10 out of 10s, but most of the time it's usually a blind buy, and that's fun. But these are blind buys that I bought that turned out to be 10 out of 10s. Let's just go ahead and get started with the first one. Very unusual, very different. I got a lot of shit about this one because of the color of the juice and what it might resemble. But look, the DNA on this is intoxicating. It's citrus, tobacco, vanilla, and musks, as simple as that. Super intoxicating, very addicting. That combination of those citruses mixed with the tobacco and the sweetness, yeah, this is a really good one in my opinion. If you enjoy sweetened tobacco, that's as simple as this one is, but the execution, it's something you have to try for yourself to understand. Long-lasting tobacco, vanilla, and citrus, a beautiful contrast. This is called Tabgh Intense by Dukhan. Number 2, if you like smoothies and fruit juices and things like that are just creamy, milky, milkshakes, etc., you're gonna love Arabian Oud Salad, because that's exactly what I get with this one. A lot of fruity notes like lemon, peach, pineapple, etc. What I get with this one is this milky milkshake and fruits. Super sexy fragrance, and the dry down is pretty woody, creamy. It smells like a freaking milkshake, man. Think of like peach milkshake. That's what this one is. Pretty unisex, but it is milky and frothy and musky and vanillic. For me personally, I find it to lean slightly more feminine. It does have a little bit of a spiced undertone coming from the cardamom as well. So solid, it's still a solid fragrance, a 10. Especially if you enjoy those descriptors though. Frothy, milky fruits. Next one is fruity, but it's not milky or frothy or anything like that. You're going on a tropical vacation, you want to smell like a fruit basket that's still slightly more masculine than something like Kirke or Erba Pura. This is the go-to. It does that entire DNA with more vanilla and spices. Definitely makes this one a bit more masculine. If I had to pick between the three, I'm going with Solid Black by Arabian Oud. Lasts all day though. Be careful with the trigger on this one. Definitely the best out of the three. Gentlemen, if you're thinking about which three to get this one. Next one is a pretty dense wood-based fragrance. It's straight to the point wood. It's called Wood Intense or Woody Intense. It smells like an oud-based fragrance, but it doesn't really smell of any animalic, oud to my nose at least, but a lot of people, especially beginners, will find this one to be animalic. It uses saffron and a bunch of combination of other notes. I don't really get anything that's like of high quality Cambodian or Indian, but it does kind of smell like a basic oud fragrance. That makes this one excellent for layering, etc. But do keep in mind that this does also use saffron. This is not just a wood-based scent. If you're looking for which one to use as a layering combination, check out the other ones like Woody Style, which kind of lightens up the whole woody vibe, or the original Woody, which is just as the name says, woody base. Probably the best musky, woody, and spicy fragrance is going to be Sultani. That's exactly what this one is. Some peppers, cardamom, musks, and sandalwood. An opulent fragrance. This just smells like an aura of money. It's got much more to it than that. There's tangerine, there's rose, lily of the valley, some freesia, musk, patchouli, and amber, but what this really smells like is just this aura of money. Ambery, woody, and musky. Simple as that, but done in the best freaking way possible. A 10 out of 10 and lasts all day. The number of compliments with this one is something else. It's different. This is different, man. Next one, speaking of different and opulence, is also the same case, except it does it a little bit fresher. So you want to get away with that DNA for more than just the spring, fall, and wintertime. Well, I mean, that really just leaves the summertime. I would go with Amiri. It does ISO-y super peppers, some citruses, similar tangerine opening, but it has much more of a woody base and much more ISO-y super. Whereas this one goes towards the musk realm of things and kind of smells a bit more high-end, if I'm being honest. This one takes it and makes it a little bit funner while retaining that high-end fragrance. Both of these are some of the highest-end smelling fragrances, especially when we're talking about that whole Cashmerean, ISO-y super, just aura type of fragrances. That's what these, or the family of fragrances I put these in. Those that enhance the aura. Sandalwood fragrances that are good are pretty hard to find. I mean like sandalwood that just does sandalwood. I've only found a couple of fragrances throughout my lifetime, and this is probably one of the better ones. It's called Sandalwood by Abdul Qurashi. No strings attached, sandalwood, maybe a couple of extra nuances here and there. There's definitely more to this than the sandalwood, but the star players is creamy woods. Smells like $1,000,000. This is grown man, rich man vibes for sure. Simple, but elegant. Sandalwood by Abdul Qurashi, a 10. This one completes that entire aura DNA. This is called Arabian Oud's Diwan. This is essentially, I wanted to put this in the same list to kind of draw or illustrate what these smell like. If I had to put these on a spectrum as far as which is which, I would place these in the same family. So these are all like ISO, E-Super, Cashmere, and etc. to different levels and scales. I'd put Amiri on the fresher side of things. So summertime, if you like a little bit more citruses, this is gonna be your go-to. If you like something that's balanced, it does those citruses, some musks, woody, you're gonna go with Sultani, one of the better ones out of all three. And on the end of the spectrum is going to be Diwan, the muskiest of them all. And also because of that, the strongest of them all. I'm not gonna say that the DNA is the best out of them all. A lot of people tend to go towards Sultani and Amiri over Diwan. This one has the longevity, but it doesn't mean it's the best one. Still a perfect 10. If you enjoy any one of these fragrances, you're gonna absolutely love them. And I personally would try and get all three of those, especially if that's your type of DNA. If you like Dior Homme 2020, etc., things that use ISO E-Super, those are absolutely fragrances to check out. Next one is Amber Heaven. Amber Fruits and Oud. Animalic for sure, but my God, the compliments this has gotten me. This is Spirited Dubai's Fakhama, a gorgeous fragrance. Ambers that goes absolutely nowhere. I find this one to be pretty unisex, especially if you're into those Middle Eastern DNA, but it does have distinctive characteristics that make this one a bit more masculine. Some spices, oh my God, something else, something else. A lot of dried fruits. It is very animalic, so be careful when rocking something like this. If you're unsure, sample before you buy. Otherwise, one of the best amber-based fragrances in my collection. Last one's gonna punch you in the nose because there's a lot going on, especially with the opening. It's lemon, citruses, some peppers, spicy, zingy, aromatic, and then in the base you've got this ambergris, leather, vanilla. Yeah, it's something else. This I find to be very similar to Roja's Elysium if it concentrated itself or was on steroids, basically. It takes that Sprite remix type of vibe, very fizzy, carbonated lemon lime, and some sugars, vanilla, and it puts it into a higher dose concentration in this bottle right here. So, although it does have the similarity, it's much spicier at the top though. That's the one thing about this fragrance that I feel like I do have to drop the disclaimer for, is that pink pepper in the beginning is very strong. And a lot of people that aren't into spicy might be put off with this one. Roja's Elysium is much more well balanced, but this is much more exaggerated in that DNA, and I absolutely love it. Spicy is everything I'm into, and this is spicy, citrus, and fresh. Smells like $1,000,000. If you like Roja's Elysium, you don't mind spicy, this does it better. It's called Atyab Sheekh Graceful. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Perfect 10 out of 10 Middle Eastern niche fragrances. Let me know down in the comments which sounds most interesting to you. Make sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and until the next video, peace.